Yeah, we're always tardy here at Menace and the Man, unfortunately.
Yeah, we like to party.
Yeah, it's a work call. I got to hop on at 5:30, so it's like a thing.
All right, well, we apologize for always being tardy, but Rollie, nice to meet you. Welcome to Menace and the Man. We'll definitely set this up for another time, but CERM reached out, told us we should definitely get you on, said it'd be up our alley. You just wrote a book, right?
Yeah. CERM's a good buddy of mine, so I wrestled for many years, and my kind of quick story is that after college, I was working on Wall Street, and I worked there for a few years, and I wound up quitting my job and moving to Peru to become a professional MMA fighter. And I fought down there in a South American league, and had this crazy story, and wrote a book called The Cage: Escaping the American Dream.
I like it. So this is just the preview for we'll have you on next week, and we go way more in detail.
Well, how long is the phone call that you got to hop on?
Oh, it's for like an hour and a half.
Oh, all right. Yeah, that'd probably be about the length of the podcast. So
kick us a text.
Yeah, unfortunately.
If we're still on, we'll have you come back on.
But Rollie,
yeah, I'd love to tell my story. I'd love to chat with you a little bit more.
How do you pronounce that? Peterkin?
Rollie Peterkin.
Peterkin. I tried to put like some type of spin on it. It was as easy as it read. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people say Peterkin, like a Russian sounding last name or something.
I saw Peter in there, and I knew that right away.
Yeah, and a lot of people say Rollie too, but Raleigh, like North Carolina.
What'd I say? Rollie?
No, you said it right. Good job. Yeah.
Raleigh.
Yeah.
Right.
So right now, the book, can people get it everywhere?
Yeah, it's on Amazon. Everywhere, and then I have a podcast too called The Divergent Path, and I've interviewed a lot of people who have kind of taken alternative routes in life and done all this crazy shit. So I
like it.
It's fun. I love podcasting. It's great to connect with people. So it's good to connect with you guys.
Yes,
dude.
absolutely.
So we'll get you on next week then.
Yeah, sounds good, man.
You know what it is? Our time is always ish. So it's
right.
5-ish, 5:30-ish, and then it's going to be around that time.
Yeah. All right. Well, next time, just a little better planning, and we'll chat a little longer. But it's good to see you guys. Good to speak. And
all right, man. I look forward to it.
See you.
All right, man. Take care.
Later.
Man, he's a good guy.
Yes, Rollie Peterkin.
That's pretty wild that he was just like, after college, like, I want to know more about it. Because he's at Peru, right?
Peru. Yes, he went to Peru and started fighting. Even that, I'd have to... Like I said, I didn't get even his name until 2 minutes ago.
But Peru is like, that's not like a first world country, right?
I'm not sure. First world? What do you mean first world would be good? You mean third world?
No, we're like first world. Like, people say like first world problems. Like kids like, oh, my battery's dead.
Yeah, so what are you trying to say? That Peru's good or bad?
No, like Peru's not a first, like a third world. You know what I mean? Like
yes, I believe it is like a second or third world country.
What's a second world country?
I don't know. That would be a...
I only hear first, like us, or like third, like Africa.
Yeah.
Somewhere in Africa, not Africa as a whole, but.
All right, well, Rollie was going to be our first guest, but we started up a little late. But welcome to episode 97, Menace and the Man.
Yeah, because I'm so bad with the timing. Like in my head, I got home. I was like, all right, I'll start my like little workout at 4. I didn't start. I'm like, I'll do just a hard half hour. That'll give me a half hour to shower, get dressed, get ready for the show, do our levels. So a 4 o'clock start turned to like a 4:11, 4:12 start, which I didn't want to cut on the back end of the workout and take off. So then ending at like 40 is 45-ish ending time. I get upstairs, protein shake. Next thing you know, it's fucking 5 o'clock, and I'm just getting out of the shower.
So even that, I was thinking like we have joked about it before with like Gilbert, Bilal. I think we joked about it with Dean Thomas as well. So we don't. I guess we run on Black people time, or we run on Brazilian time, or like what is Puerto Rican time? Is that late, early?
Yeah, we're not.
Is that one of those expressions that you might know a white guy who's always late, and you're like, oh, what are you on white people time?
Yeah.
Well,
we're just late.
What would white people time be? I'm early for everything because I'm not
15 minutes early.
I'm not. I'm late for everything.
Well, the thing is, over my the more important it is to you, nothing against the show, I guess the more like the less late you are. Like days that I really like wanted to train, I was there like a half hour early. But there are some days like I don't fucking want to go. Like I don't want. So you look for excuses to, you know.
We're real professional here at Menace and the Man.
Yeah.
Unless we have like a big guest, and even then, I'm pretty sure we've been late for big guests too.
But the thing is,
we're close though.
This is insane because I would rather rush than like wait.
Yes. Okay.
Like I like put shit in the way for me to be busy and doing things and moving. But versus like that
feeling sometimes when you're prepared and you're there like a minute early and you're like, all right, here we go. As opposed to that.
But hang on. The relaxed waiting feels so much better than like doing 90 where you're only making up like a minute, but you might get pulled over, which might make you even like another half hour late. You know what I mean?
Did you read my text messages or messages I sent to you?
Oh, like
we
for tonight?
Just early. I guess as you were showering, as you were posting on Instagram, but we got to get Gordon Ryan on the show. It's long overdue.
Wow.
And just, do you watch his social media?
I don't.
He's leaving. He was like, if Donald Trump loses this election, New Jersey are a fucking dump. I'm leaving. He lost the election. He posted like New Jersey, whatever the fuck he said, and he's out. He then, I don't know. He then posted a video and said how leaving, you know, showed his whole house packed up and whatnot. So then
No way.
So then Craig,
House packed.
Craig Jones, our homie Craig Jones, posted a video of the New York skyline and said, I'll only be here for 2 more weeks. So I wrote, where are you going? And he wrote, I mean, I should have just been like, come on tonight, but I hate, you know, I try to spread it out. And he wrote, I can't say just yet. Gordon wants to do a big announcement, but somewhere tropical. So apparently,
I mean, if you think about it, someone like
apparently Cuomo, and I don't know who's in charge right now in New Jersey, but de Blasio, they have driven out the Danaher Death Squad. The sanctions and all the bullshit and bureaucracy on, you know, the Northeast and all the bullshit with the coronavirus and the businesses and whatnot.
Yeah, because I would imagine those guys have a couple bucks where they could put all their shit or sell it or whatever and then go like train in like Punta Cana, you know.
It probably
Punta Cana for, am I saying that right?
Punta Cana?
Punta Cana. Sorry, damn.
Hold on. I gotta make sure we got power here.
I had a brain fart. You know what I mean? Where no one's gonna bother them. They can charge people to come train with them, you know? Like,
all right, here, just entertain the people for like 10 seconds. I just gotta make sure we're all powered up here.
This guy is totally wild.
Oh, me?
But, so I was talking, guys, let's talk. This is a Menace segue. Menace by himself. Fuck the man. But, so let's talk Glover Teixeira. This man, close to 40, if not 40. And I've been saying it for a while on the show. And I'm not that I think he's a bad fighter. I think he's an awesome fighter. But when every fighter has a fight where they look old, like this fighter is now old, that's it. You know, he's washed up. Glover is yet to show me that. Glover it's almost like he's improving. So this man went from someone that I thought like, you know what? He's past his prime. He's over the hill number one contender against like young stallions, and not just beating them and out toughing them, putting them away in the later rounds.
And even, you know what he did with that? I like that little Menace segment.
I was thinking about when I got out of the shower. I was like, dude, let me try and do a little segue.
I love that. And I set you up for it. It was a softball. You hit it out of the park. But the Glover, he basically had those couple fights where, you've said it many times, on the feet, it's like 50-50. You know, there's some times where you could be better.
Well, at that weight class, everybody hits hard.
Yeah, and Glover had a few.
But he's been through some fucking meat grinders.
He had a few of those fights where it was like, you maybe thought Glover was going to win, he wound up losing, or he lost to some really good guys, but was losing on the feet. And then he's got this black belt. He's a really good wrestler. He was like, obviously something was slowing down for him on the feet. He was getting a little slower. So he was getting, he looks slower visibly when you watch him strike with a lot of the guys. So he started working him in this single leg game. And then he actually has a good, when you sprawl on him, he's got a good double leg. Like he can transition it into some chain wrestling. Glover's got a great grappling game. He started using it. Now he's on a 4-fight win streak. But that last fight, he almost died. Like Thiago Santos almost, like the first round, first 30 seconds, he was ping-ponging his head back and forth.
Yeah.
Glover is tough.
Because Glover's been fighting forever. You know what I mean? And we talk about, you know, a fighter only has so many rounds. And I would say Glover is part of a generation that is like, I'm in that generation, right? With Glover, like I retire, like dudes are starting to be like, all right, I got a year left max. You know what I mean? In that generation. And now they're going against these young bucks that are fresh and are looking to put in 10 years of, you know?
Yes. What's good? Who dropped
right
you?
there. What?
Your boy who dropped is in the chat. Said what's up.
Oh, who dropped you? What up? Zach?
But Glover, iron chin. I think he's always, even like when Rumble Johnson, he connects you going to sleep.
Yes.
Caught him. And then when Gustafsson caught him, that was just uppercut and no adjustment, uppercut. Okay, I'll throw another one, you know? And it was like, all right. Fifth round, fourth round, whatever it was, he was exhausted. But Glover's always been good on the feet, iron chin. Now that he can grapple or uses his grappling a little bit more than he did in the past, I think, you know, that's what showed in that fight. His grappling's there. He's obviously training it. It's there. So even when he was rocked, his instincts were, let me fucking scramble. Or even when he was on his back, he did a good job of not taking too much damage.
Like, you heard those hammer fists, like hitting, like flush, like
you said it. He was close. He was one or two. He was one clean shot from the referee being like, he's good. He was that, and he was keeping his composure just enough to
tied up, single leg, gets on top, takes his back, chokes him out.
Yeah.
In the third.
And he did like that rock from like half guard, like where you came up on the single leg, pushed him into the cage, like some, you know. Some veteran some veteran shit there,
for sure, and everything about it was veteran.
And if Santos lacks anywhere, I'm sure we've seen it a little bit in the past. Can't remember seeing too many Santos fights other than the high profile ones, or his losses. His hole is obviously the ground. On the feet, Santos looked fucking amazing. Like the times when he was on the feet with Glover, he fucked Glover up.
Yeah,
but. No.
That's the whole thing, man. In a fight, that's why I liked competing in MMA more than wrestling. Was like in wrestling, if you're a better wrestler, you're a better wrestler than me. I mean, there's either you're good at scoring points, like taking a guy down, or you're good on the bottom where you can pin him and get tilts. If you know what I mean, but it's all the same thing, kind of. You know what I mean? But fighting, you could try to knock the guy out. You could try and submit the guy, or you could just try and wrestle and grind the guy out, you know?
Do you know who I didn't try to get on tonight? Because I want to save it for when you're not doing... What are you doing? No beer November?
Yeah.
Tai Tuivasa.
Oh, wow. I would have...
You said you'd do a shot or something. You owe the man a shoey, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, a shoey.
If you go, I'll do a shot for you. He's probably going to be like, no, you little cunt. You're going to do a shot and a shoey. You know, he's probably going to say some shit like that, most likely. He's not, when he comes on, he's not coming on to fuck around. We've already gone over this. He's not coming on to fuck around. That's why he didn't want to do it in quarantine. He thinks that we're ready to, he wants to party. Same way you want to like bury the hatchet and become friends, I think Ty's on the same tip.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think of what shoe, right? Like, you've done a shoey, right?
No, it has to be your work shoe or something.
No, you've done a shoey.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
After you do the shoey, is that pair of shoes now? Because you can't just wear one shoe. Is that, they're thrown out? Did you put them in the washer? Did you just wear them how they are?
Put it in the washer.
That's the move?
Yeah. If they're real, you know, if they're not like fucking, and your shit's real, like, you know, if you have like a shitty, you bought them on fucking the streets of Manhattan or something, pair of Nikes, they might fall apart in the washing machine. But if you have a legit pair of Nikes or whatever they are, you throw them in the washing machine, they're not going to fall apart.
A lot of my shoes are like the mesh, you know, like the fly knit.
That's kind of what my shoey was done out of my Nikes.
Which I feel like as soon as you pour it in, it just like.
But you'd be surprised.
Well, no, you had what those are the Roches?
You'd be surprised. Those had
the Nike Roche.
I don't know.
Roche?
They have some. They're like the netting, like that you can almost.
No, did they? It looked like it had like some padding.
Nah, you could see through them. I thought it was going to seep out the side, so I was ready to just go quick.
Yeah,
but I'm telling you, watch, you'll see. Ty's coming to party. But we a happy birthday to the Marines as well. I did post about that. So
that's right. That's today, right?
That is today. So I'll cheers some pumpkin ale, to the Marines.
Oh, I thought you were drinking one of these.
I drank that. And then I moved on to a pumpkin ale. My next one will be the Tipsy Tea, which is absolutely one of my favorites from Great South Bay.
Ugh.
But, well, we could also pour. I don't want to pour. I should have put something down. I want to pour a little bit out for your takedown record. But you could legitimately dispute those results. If this was...
You know, when you asked the question, you know who I was going to have on but didn't have on? I was originally going to say Darren Elkins.
Get him on the show.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought you were going to say. I was going to have Darren Elkins on, but I didn't because...
I didn't even... I got political, and I didn't even tag him in it. I didn't even tag him in his takedown.
I was going to, like, congratulations, whatever, but that wouldn't be sincere.
No,
you know?
And they could be disputed.
So they were mat returns?
A couple of takedowns, but I think... He got 7 to get to the record. He might have got 8. I have to look it up. I don't want to be statistically inaccurate.
If I knew a mat return was a takedown, I would make it so no one could beat it. I would just take it to just mat return him for a whole round.
Yeah, he got a couple mat.
Dennis Bermuda's got 25 takedowns in one round.
Even that's the Khabib versus Abel Trujillo fight. They're like, oh, Khabib took him down 21 times. No, he mat returned him 12 times. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
And then someone did post or answered me with that yes, and you said the same thing in wrestling. No, in MMA, I guess so. But why? Because the MMA judge is uninformed, or?
Well, for MMA, I guess it's when someone gets taken from their feet to a downed position.
What if when you take me down, my butt hits the ground, I pop up, and on the way up, I hit you with a little punch?
That's what happened with me against Feely. That counts as a takedown.
I know, but that's exactly what I'm saying. So you're telling me that that should be scored? I think that's a whole argument for the judges need to be more educated. It's a whole fight. It's damage.
I just think it's...
Ooh, he bruised his hip. Nah, the brain... I'm not counting the brain damage or the punch. He bruised his hip when he took him down.
Right.
His quad muscle, his calf. He got hurt. You know, what the fuck? Yeah,
gluteus maximus.
His glute's going to be sore tomorrow from that takedown.
Yeah, but Elkins got to have a 4-fight skid?
4-fight skid. If he would have lost that one, he would have been done. But yeah, 4-fight skid for Elkins. So yeah, I'm always rooting for the guys that beat you, obviously, but didn't want him to get the takedown record. And then watching it, 30 seconds in, I'm like, fuck this guy. The guy he's fighting. No takedown defense. Like, takedown defense, like when you get on his hips, he goes,
wow.
yeah.
Hey, they're out there.
He was able to...
I just wonder, because I couldn't imagine Darren Elkins is rich, because he lives in California, right? Like, it's not cheap there.
I thought he lived... I don't know if he lives there. I think he might just do camps.
Okay.
Shoot that shot. I'll bet if you slid in Darren Elkins' DMs, he's going to be like...
For sure. Right. But, like, what does someone like that do? I've asked this myself about a lot. Like, what does someone like that do after fighting?
Yeah, we've talked about that very much.
I think everybody... Like, an easy answer is like, start his own gym.
If that's what you're passionate about. Like, we'll use you, obviously, as the comparison where you weren't interested in that, you know? Where you could teach, you'd be interested in maybe teaching somebody.
You know what? That's a little bit of a lie. I like teaching. If I had my own thing, I would definitely groom it, but it was... like the hustle, if you will, of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like hopefully we get some private lessons today. Hopefully we get some more students today. Hopefully everything, I got like 2 kids. Like I needed reliability. I needed security, know, because the whole fight career was that like, well, hopefully we win. Hopefully,
Yeah. And you even have seen firsthand with LaFleur and Depot, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
To make a successful gym.
Yeah.
Capital, work, and then obviously time there. You have to teach, you have to do all that type of shit.
Yeah. I mean, I thought about it and I was thinking about doing it while I was fighting, but just especially losing those fights, like that's the time I probably would have done it.
Yeah, I know.
In that last 2 years, and I just didn't have the extra money off of a loss. I'm just getting by. Off of a loss, making 50 grand. Not them spending all the 50 grand, but I have to pay taxes and da-da-da. Like, that's like 6-7 months of living, 8 months.
Well, even now that I'm thinking about it, you don't really do any privates anymore, right? I remember you had your handful of clients that were your regulars.
Yeah, well, I mean, COVID and definitely beat the shit out of that.
Yeah.
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 I mean, I had some people, and I still, I had a few people, but I'm
so
looking to get maybe back into it a little bit.
That's the route for, I think, most. Like, even I'll use Glover as an example. Glover is 40, 41, whatever he is. He already has a gym, and I know that's like his main gig, if you will, and he's still fighting. So I'm sure for a guy like Darren Elkins, that would probably either, I don't think in California, I think back in Indiana is where he's from.
I believe so, yeah.
That would be the move.
Yeah, but you just can't, like, there's a business aspect to that. So, yeah, you could be able to teach like a motherfucker, but if you can't manage money, you can't keep track of people, and you have no organization, you're going to fucking, like, I'm not saying whatever, but I watched Mark Munoz's gym kind of close because it was more of a pro fighter gym. Like, they didn't, like, yes, fighters are awesome to have in your gym. They're good for marketability, but you got to market that correctly. Like, your bread and butter is kids and women.
Well, we've seen that. I'm sure you've seen that many times where a gym had the buddy program, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You always have to kind of draw that line.
Yeah. Yeah. But, so what I'm saying with that is, you could be a sick. And also, I've watched people that are really good wrestlers or really good fighters. It doesn't translate for them to teach it. They just are good at doing it. They can't tell you exactly why they do it or what, you know what I mean? Whereas I think I'm a better teacher than I am an actual wrestler.
They could teach it. They could teach it at the entry level, though. I'm sure.
For sure.
Yeah. So there's always that option.
When you're that good and you're at that high of a level, it almost hurts. I mean, at least me.
Would you say? Here's the question: would you say that you've seen more of your peers and friends be successful in teaching combat sports, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, kickboxing, or unsuccessful? Like we have the failed gyms and things like that, or we have the success stories? I feel like I've seen more positives than Now, granted, in those positives, there's also people that have had a couple of gyms, like that gym didn't work, and now they're at this gym, and this gym's good.
Well, I think it all comes about, it's all your connections and stuff like that too. You know what I mean? Like Uriah Faber by himself is fucking a very, very smart guy and kind of he gets it. He knows marketability. He knows. And then he, on top of that, connects with the right people yep, you do this, you do that, you do this. Ryan the Flair is very good with that. Yep, this is what we're going to do. You do this, you do that, you do this. But I again, like I've said, I've watched people, listen, I'm going to start my gym. I don't think you could do what I could do as good as me, so I'm going to do it. I don't think you could do as good as I can do, so I'm going to do it. And they start trying to micromanage, and they're at the gym all day. They don't have time to fucking...
Well, that's it. When I rack my brain, in the failed gyms that I have known about, the few that I can come up with in my brain right now, they had a bunch of partners. When I look at
failed gyms. Too many hands in the piggy bank.
Too many opinions.
Okay.
And it either diverted into something else, and now this person's from that gym onto this gym, blah, 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 or they just got completely out of the game and whatever. And then I have the other people I know that were smaller. I'll use Ryan and Greg as the example where they were successful, but even, both of them were in different gyms before Long Island MMA.
Right.
Like that's just always the progression.
Well, the thing is, like, Ryan was like, I'm good at striking. I'm pretty good at wrestling. I got a grasp at jiu-jitsu. Greg was like, I'm really good at jiu-jitsu. Gi and no gi.
Man,
I'm pretty good at wrestling.
I feel like Faber's kind of been... Did Faber built his own team?
Oh my God, he's
20 years ago.
Yeah.
And I don't
the thing is he was bringing in guys as training partners.
Granted, the guy's a fucking idiot, but I saw Jeff Bezos. He's actually a genius, but he also just has like stupid beliefs and dumb shit he says. But
the Amazon guy?
Yeah. I saw him say something where most businesses have a 30-year shelf life. So my question is, what's the shelf life on MMA gyms or gyms? Because then we've seen that. There's only there's lifelong martial...
The thing is someone like Greg and Ryan, and I've seen them kind of do it over the years, is they start teaching people to be them.
Yes.
So as they get older, they don't have to do as much, and also becomes a little taxing on the body. Hold mitts and, you know what I mean? So all while not trying to, because it's tough when you teach someone a craft, they go like, well, if I do it by myself, I can make more money than doing it for you. So, well, see you later. You see that a lot in businesses, right? So people try to give them only enough.
It's weird. So here's where that gets weird too. Like in MMA, I feel like that's a little, hey, I'm going to go open up another MMA gym.
Sick. We can work together.
I'm going to go open up another jiu-jitsu gym.
Is different.
Yeah. Then it's like, he's dead to me.
With Greg and Ryan, I've noticed, you want to open up a gym? We can give you a blueprint because this is running good in here. We can almost guarantee yours will too. Just make us a partner.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, they're like Tiger Schulman's with their franchise is like,
oh my God, crushing it. Like, even I remember when I lived in Florida, that's what, like, I remember seeing American Top Team's kids program, and I was like, holy shit. And I remember that was like one of Greg's things for a while. Like, even when I was in California, Art of Jiu-Jitsu, their kids program, it's like a fucking army. And what that is, that's all just fucking money in the bank.
Yes.
Yeah, so there's a lot of money in that. But for where we started this conversation, Darren Elkins, but then it doesn't always go that way. Like, I'm not, throwing shade, but we'll talk about Phil. I think Phil Baroni could open his own gym. He just hasn't yet, or I don't know. We'd have to get him on and ask him. But he's been crazy.
What are you doing? Because you can't fight till you're 70. But you could fight until you die.
You can fight until you're 54.
You live till
you can fight 55? Until you're 54, apparently. Tyson Roy Jones is coming up.
That is coming up. Is that not this weekend, but the following?
I don't know. They might have pushed it.
Is that like Thanksgiving weekend?
I haven't seen enough on it that I feel like it's been pushed back again, but let me check. But even Who Dropped It said, wasn't there a bet with Tyrone Spong involving body shots? Yes, there was, Who Dropped You. And we'll get to that. We were trying to get to it maybe in 2 weeks. But Menace has little, would you call Jaybird Little Menace?
No, he ain't a menace, dude.
He's not Little Menace? I feel like he would be like a little clone of you, no? Or are you and Jay very different? Well, Jay is Menace's little brother.
No, yeah. My younger brother, Jay,
When's the last time you guys saw each other?
It's been a little bit, I think. Maybe last year. I'm not really sure. But he gives more thought to things. Let's just say that. I'm not going to say he's smarter than me. He just gives more thought to things. You know what I mean? Whereas I'm like, what? Yep. He's like, whoa, well, hang on. Because this and this and this, but this and this.
When you
gotta, to be a menace, you'd be like, what?
That's one of those disclaimers where you're like, I'm not going to say he's smarter than me. When you're listening to the person say it, you go, okay, so this guy might be smarter than him. All right.
Yeah, but I'm more like, so if I'm giving Jay like the smartness of more smarter, like let's say he's a level 6 smart and I'm a 5. In terms of wild, like I'm an 8. I'm up there. And he's like a fucking 4.
Okay, but the littlest Bermuda's brother, the youngest, the biggest Bermuda's brother.
He's the tallest.
But is he the heaviest too?
I don't think so. I think I passed him. Yeah, I definitely passed him.
Right now, you got him passed.
Yeah.
But
try and bring it back down.
Menace's brother's in the Coast Guard. He's coming home the weekend that I was possibly trying to get Menace down to Florida to go get beat up by Tyrone Spong. But I'm not going to go. Yeah, I'm not going to do it without you. I'm not going to go die without the Menace.
Yeah.
So we'll figure that out. It might be December. It might be the beginning of the year, depending on what happens with this new president that we might be having coming into office.
Potential, right? He's not
president-elect. Shit's going to get crazy. And here's where things are going to go even crazier is what happens if the courts are in favor of Donald Trump and shit gets overturned.
Donald, move your things back in.
Like, yeah, Donald, I see that you planned moving trucks on these days. You can cancel those. And this party was a going away party. We're going to change this to a we're still here party. And Joe Biden is like, we're going to get the cops to come in or someone to come in and take Trump out. He's already planning. He's already talking to other countries. He's already planning what he's going to do when he gets in office. He already released a list of executive orders he's going to do once he gets in office.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Wow.
And a lot of it is repeal a lot of things that Trump has done and put in some things in effect of what he wants to do.
I'm not getting a straight answer, but in all honesty, how much longer till we have a real president?
Who's not giving you a straight answer?
Like everybody. What do you mean?
That's
everybody asks, like, hey man, like when are we gonna have like a real president? Like when's it like, yep, this is our president now? Like a week? A month?
That's the answer right now.
An hour ago? I don't know.
The answer right now is what can you compare it to? Like, I don't even know.
The Gore, when Gore was president. No?
I was trying to relate it to like personal life. Like there's just no answer. Like right now, it's all dependent on the courts. So they could go to the court in Pennsylvania with the challenge that they have, and the judge could be like, all right, I'm going to throw out 100 and X amount of votes, 100,000 votes or whatever. or they can go, you know what, I'm going to kick this up the road and I'm going to send this to the Supreme Court. Like, there's a bunch of different scenarios right now that could play out. Right now, though, all the scenarios that could play out actually do look like it's 50-50. I was going to say they look good for Trump, but they look 50-50. So the media is playing it like it's so crazy that that's the world we live in. Like, this podcast could almost turn into a conspiracy podcast at this point. And we're not. Wait. And we're not talking about conspiracies. We're talking about the shit that's actually going on. But that's conspiracy to the mainstream media right now. That's what's insane about the way the world is right now. So here's the thing. There's not, like the news is saying, there's not evidence of widespread voter fraud. There doesn't need to be evidence of widespread voter fraud. Elections, like even Biden won by whatever in the popular vote, that doesn't fucking matter. It comes down to the Electoral College supposed to. There's only certain counties that it could swing in the favor of another president. Like there is one county, 2 counties.
Georgia?
County in each state. There's 1 or 2.
In Georgia or what?
No. There's 1 or 2 counties in each one of the states that are being disputed that could change the election. Counties, not the whole state, counties.
Got it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Couple 100,000 people. Like, so it's crazy. I don't know what's going to happen right now. It's 50-50. It all depends on what happens in the courts. Like Trump could go into the court and the judge could be like, I'm a liberal. I don't approve, blah, blah, blah. We don't know what's going to happen, but Dan Vallimmont's here.
What's up?
What up, Dan? So Dan Vallimont, runner-up All-American for Penn State, Fanatic Wrestling. What are you in that? Are you just a teacher? Is that your company? Is that a partnership?
Been getting that question a lot lately. So I don't know if you've ever heard of the site BJJ Fanatics.
Of course.
Yes.
So those guys started out 7 years ago with a company called BJJ Fanatics. It took off. It's been doing really well. And about a year and a half ago, they decided to move over into the wrestling world. And I filmed a couple videos with them early on, and my videos were doing well. And I just kind of randomly out of the blue one day was like, hey, you guys need any help? Like, I know I have a lot of connections in the wrestling world. They're all jiu-jitsu guys, so they didn't quite have all the connections. And just kind of started out just helping out a little bit and kind of worked my way up. And now, yeah, I am an instructor for sure, but I also do a lot of logistical work for the company now, it's been a lot of fun. It's really cool to see it.
You're getting bread.
I'm not getting paid.
All right, I'll take it. But backing up a little bit, Dan Vallimont, you went to college the same time as me. You graduated in 2005 from high school, right?
Yep, 2005.
Then you went on to wrestle for Penn State. Who was your first head coach at Penn State?
Troy Sunderland.
And then Cael took over in your sophomore year?
No, he wasn't there till my senior year. 2009, 2010 was his first year.
Okay.
Yes. So wait, Dan, it is pronounced Dan Vallimont, right?
Yeah, Vallimont. Some people miss the I a little bit with it, but
that's what I was going to say. That I could change things up a little bit.
Yeah,
well, I like to put a little French syllable on every once in a while, like Dan Vallimont.
That's what I was going to say. It could be. It's actually pronounced Vallimont. Thank you. It could have been one of those, but
it is a French name, so I guess it probably is Vallimont.
What are you, French and German, right?
French, German, Irish.
Yeah.
So now, where are you living? You are. Oh wait, is Mark Hall's upstairs from you, right?
No, not yet.
No. He's building over. He's not there yet, but he is moving one building over from me. Him and McFadden living together, but we're in West Philly.
All right. So currently in West Philly at the RTC, right?
Correct. Yep. The PRTC.
All right. Pennsylvania. And what? Pennsylvania Regional Training Center.
Yeah. Pennsylvania Regional Training Center.
So now, is that just wrestling or are those like all sports?
No, it's just wrestling. Just kind of like Penn State has the Nittany Lion Wrestling Club. It's just
a wrestling club.
Yeah.
All right. And now is that like so most wrestling clubs at that level, you guys are like a feeder league for the international wrestling scene?
Somewhat. I mean, we kind of are the international wrestling scene. It's just, in years past, it used to be that everybody that wanted to train to try to make an Olympic team had to go to Colorado Springs and had to maybe move there even to spend time to just to be able to train with all these high-level guys, because the NCAA's restrictions on having guys that are graduated being in the room training. But the RTCs now have provided like a loophole where they can pay guys like myself, who I'm not an alumni of the University of Pennsylvania or Drexel, but it allows for us to be able to train with the college guys and then train with each other and be able to get paid for it. So it creates a really cool opportunity for guys to get paid and still compete. And it's really good for recruiting for these different universities as well.
Yeah, so something that Menace had asked Mark Hall, and Mark didn't have the answer, especially with the COVID, we don't know. When's the next time that you might be competing?
For me, I'm not sure. For Mark, I know they have. I don't think he's competing this weekend.
He said he's trying to. He said like maybe around the new year.
Okay, so because they have the U23 Nationals this coming weekend out in Omaha. I mean, I'm going on 34, so I can't wrestle with them anymore. But I know we have a bunch of guys.
23 to wrestle on that?
What was that?
You have to be 23 to wrestle on that? 23
or under. Yeah. But because they have a U23 World Championship as well, typically.
Is Zahid's not wrestling that, right? He's got Burroughs this weekend, right?
Yeah, so he's not wrestling at that. But I know like McFadden's going out for us, and a couple other guys are going.
So Vallimont, you're a wrestling fanatic. I could tell by your shirt.
Gotta plug the brand.
Who is this guy that Burroughs is going up against? Menace was trying to... I'm a casual wrestling fan. I'm not as hardcore, I guess, like I would say you guys, where I know all the guys, but I know Burroughs. Menace has given this guy a little bit of a chance this weekend, or said he's good.
Saying Valencia.
Well, I mean, so real quick, I saw a little stat. So Valencia went 3-4 against Dake. Dake then didn't get scored on that whole tournament for a world title, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, this Valencia's fucking, he's good, man. He beat
Valencia,
Mark Hall.
Valencia definitely.
I mean, like...
I think the biggest thing is, I mean, one, I never want to count Jordan Burroughs out. We're like the same age, too, same age as Dennis and I. But he's proven people wrong over and over again. Nobody's really shown that they can, like, beat him domestically, at least. Like, these guys aren't beating him domestically. And until that happens, I still believe that he's capable of winning. Now, the problem that this Zahid brings is that
very long.
He's a lot bigger. He's just a lot bigger than him. And he's a lot younger.
Is Burroughs jumping up a weight class for this?
They're meeting somewhere in the middle. I want to say the restaurant 185. Don't quote me on that, but I think they're meeting in the middle.
Because the last time Burroughs jumped up was the wrestler Askren.
Yeah, and I mean that was kind of Askren wasn't training, and then you throw in all this COVID stuff too. Like I don't know. I believe Arizona State's been training. Jordan's been. I'm sure they're training, but everybody's like. Just what you have available to you right now is just a lot different. Like everybody would kind of be on the same level playing field, at least as far as what's available to you. But I know a lot of people are going through a bunch of different kind of jumping through hoops here. Like I know for us, we have to practice in Jersey right now. We have to get tested for COVID twice a week.
Hang on. You guys are practicing in Jersey?
Yeah, we're not allowed.
Because Pennsylvania has laws that are like, nope, not here.
Well, if we could find a gym that was convenient, we could rent out space and stay there. We're not allowed in the wrestling
on campus.
I guess we could technically be on campus. We're not supposed to be, but I'm saying like you can't get in the wrestling room. You can't get in the locker room at Drexel or Penn. We're not allowed to use the facilities. They've said we can't use them at least at Penn through the rest of this year, through 2020. Drexel is still up in the air. They're trying to figure things out. There's really no details. Everybody's just still kind of trying to figure it out. But we've been driving. I mean, for me, it's a 45-minute drive each way. You got to pay tolls over the bridge. Yeah. It's not the most convenient, but it is an opportunity for us to train. And thankfully we are, because I've heard other guys that don't even have the chance to go anywhere right now. So,
well, I mean, since COVID started, that's what me and Stan have been, every fighter we have on, like, so how's training going? What are you doing? What do you know what I mean? We've heard people just training and doing what they want and getting arrested or getting the cops called on them. And,
and even
getting shut down to, nothing. We just,
pre-COVID, we
are keeping 6 feet apart.
And even pre-COVID, we did this podcast together, and now we do it virtually.
Yeah.
The world's changing. Especially that's what's so crazy for like wrestlers. I know like for you too, I'm sure you're getting up there, not saying you're old yet, but you only have so many years left where you're going to be in your prime able to do this. Like we had Mark Hall on, lost the year of eligibility, or not yet eligibility, lost the national tournament. We had Piccinini who lost the national tournament. Like a lot of guys lost that national title opportunity. A lot of fighters are losing a year of fighting. Like for some guys, it's tough right now.
Yeah, no,
I mean, for everyone, it's tough. I'm saying
for sure.
Some people got those weird circumstances where it's like, all right, I have 1 year left of fighting. COVID hits. All right, I'm retired.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's kind of where I was at. I mean, if things would have gone as planned and we would have had the 2020 Olympic cycle, whether or not I made the team or not, I already decided, like, all right, this is a good time to call it quits. And, but I mean, I felt healthy. I feel that I can go another year here. And if I feel healthy enough to do it, I'm able to do it. I'm going to give it a shot. But it's definitely, it doesn't get any easier. You get all these young studs coming up, like a Zahid Valencia, like a Jason Nolf, these guys that are Mark Hall, guys that are now out of college that are able to compete at the world level and contend for Olympic spots. So it just throws a lot more really tough guys into the mix, which is great. It's great for USA Wrestling. It makes it a little harder for an older guy like myself, but it makes really good for the future of USA Wrestling as a whole.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Even like I was just talking about the collegiate guys a little bit, but someone like you lost a potential Olympic spot, you know, a potential run in the Olympics.
That's my question. So the 2020 Olympics is canned. They're going to postpone it to 2021?
Yeah, it's supposed to be as of now. We'll see what happens, but it's supposed to be basically the same dates next August. But USA Wrestling and, I mean, I guess UWW, there really hasn't been any answers as to if we're sure what kind of tournaments are we going to be able to go to in the spring. I mean, you asked earlier what my next competition is. I mean, there's a tournament in Nice, France, and there's a tournament in Cuba. I don't know if we're going to be able to go to them. I would like to go, but what's the travel restrictions going to look like?
Right.
And all that kind of stuff. So kind of just in limbo right now with all that.
Yeah. Man. It's bullshit, Dan, right?
Yeah.
You could say it.
And you want to talk about when we were 25?
Sure.
I used to right? We were 25 when we lived together, right?
Well, so Dan, you now finally making your Menace and the Man show appearance. You've been talked about many times.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've been asking to get on here, but I mean, it hasn't really been relevant, I guess.
Nah, Dennis is a piece of shit. So here we go. Dan, you could talk about times that Dennis was a piece of shit. Your former roommate, you've definitely seen some things.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
All right, so here we go. Like, Dennis Bermudez, first thing comes to mind. Go.
It's not that. It's not that he's a piece of crap or anything, but...
No, I'm joking.
No, we like to... I mean... Making fun of each other is funny.
I mean, I would say, we bust each other's balls. I would say the one thing that Dennis ever did that pissed me off was...
I think I know what it is.
No, because it's not even that. It's the first one I can think of. Actually, I got another story too that's pretty good.
Wait, he's about to be like, something I never told you about, but I always wanted to.
No, it's not even that bad. But just off the top of my head, me and Dennis used to play Call of Duty all the time. Okay. And every now and then we would do Power Hour during Call of Duty. And we have a bathroom in our apartment that Dennis and I lived in that was about 10 feet away. And Dennis refused to go use the bathroom and instead would piss off the second story of our balcony down into the courtyard just to be a jerk. But I'm like, dude, we're going to get evicted from here because our landlord wasn't the best. And there was no reason at all.
What about that?
He would walk further to go outside and just pee off the balcony down onto the people's front porches below us.
I forgot about that.
And I was like, why don't you just go to the bathroom, dude? Nah. But so it really wasn't that bad.
You know what it was? That meant we were past a half hour of Power Hour, which means I had 3 or 4 beers down on top of pregame before that.
Whose name?
I totally forgot about that.
Whose name was on the apartment?
Mine.
So Everything the Menace did, you were probably like, oh, here we go.
Yeah. Well, I got a quick one here too. I had this pet ball python.
Do you still have Snake?
Yeah, man.
All right, get him out here, dude.
He hasn't ate in a while. I don't take him out like that anymore.
Okay.
But so I had this snake, and I was coaching at Hofstra, and we had to travel a bit, and like we'd be gone from like Thursday to a Sunday. Sometimes I don't know longer, but like he had to get fed. No, he didn't need fed. I said, Dennis just loved taking this snake out, and Dennis would stand in the bathtub, and he would put the snake on the bathroom floor. And he would have like these gladiator games. He'd let like a rat go on our bathroom floor, and he'd block the bathroom door with a towel so the mouse couldn't get out like into the.
No, just shut the door.
But then he would just like leave him in there and sit in the tub and drink until like the snake finally got this rat. And
one time I was like, let's see how many snake, because I think the most amount of like small mice that Stan ever gave the snake was like 2. I
thought you gave him 3.
I know. I was like, dude, I think he ate more than that.
Because you called me, you FaceTimed me with like Gregor.
No, you were there for that one. You were there for the 4.
Well, the one that like did piss me off was I don't remember where I was, and I said, don't go get the biggest rat at the pet store. 1, I think it could kill my snake. 2, I don't need this thing growing to be gigantic. And then you FaceTimed me with you. I forget, it might have been Gregor with you that time too, and you guys were both in the bathtub with this giant rat just running around, the biggest rat you could get at the pet store.
I knew Snake could do it. Hang on, how big was Snake at the time?
How big?
Yeah, like like 6 foot. No,
I don't know. It was a while ago. I've had him since 2007. So
you have a snake.
How big is he now?
Wait, you have a snake named Snake.
Yeah, it's a great name. It's the best name you can name a snake.
Oh my god, I love that. Yeah.
Well, because if I name him Dennis, there'd be confusion sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't have any friends named Snake, so.
Bro, you're in great company. You know, Ashley Evan, Jessica Rose Clark, her dog is named Dog.
That's creative.
Yeah.
No, one of our other dogs is named Blue, though.
Yeah, Blue and Dog. Yes.
My uncle had a dog, and the dog's name was DOG.
DOG.
Yes. So I heard you talk about Gregor. So what is your relationship with Gregor? Just wrestling, or you've hung out with Gregor?
They actually used to coach together.
Yeah. I mean, we competed throughout college. Gregor beat me a bunch of times. I beat him one time. But the year he won it, he beat me. He beat me a lot. He was really good. But no, we did end up coaching together at Hofstra University for a few years, and then he kind of decided to get into fighting. And then I still stayed in touch with him because he was training with Dennis, so we still cross paths a lot.
So speaking of beating people, Dan beat me, Stan.
I was going to get to that. I have plenty of questions about that. Like, so you guys live together. We'll even go there. We'll cut off on the Gregor conversation. We'll come back to it. But so when you guys lived together, were there ever wrestling in the confines of the apartment?
No, the thing is, because he would have wrestling practice, I had fighting, and sometimes I would go to his wrestling practice. So, like, by the time we got home, we were pretty smoked.
Yeah, all right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's all out of you. And then, like, on the weekends, we're both not, like, aggressive, like, I'm better than you kind of people. So, like, when we would get drunk, it wouldn't be like, yes, yeah, Dan. That never happened. It was just like, it would be like, but you can't drink this faster than me. Like,
there was no Colby.
Right?
There was no Colby Masvidal roommate style shit going on, or there was no like, all right, we'll settle this right now. First one to get a takedown.
No. Well, so also in addition to, I lived with him for 6 months because I had a kid.
Because you knocked some chick up.
Yeah.
So you guys lived together.
It was like the day you moved in too.
I get all my things in, like, Dennis, I'm pregnant. I'm like, what? Come on.
All right. We'll figure that out. I'm just gonna ride this Long Beach thing out for a couple more months, and then
I mean, the kid wasn't. I mean, I had time to like figure out housing, but yeah. The whole thing is like Dan was single, I was single. I'm like, dude, I'm gonna move down there. I'm gonna clean up.
Well, where'd you grow up, Dan?
North Jersey.
Okay, so Jersey, you're East Coast. They lump us all in all the time. Every time we've had so many people on Menace and the Man, we're talking to Frankie Edgar about it. People always be like, "So, where are you guys? Jersey?" After like 20 minutes of talking to them, so we'll just be like, "What the fuck? They think we're from Jersey, Menace." Everything's East Coast. But so, how'd you wind up in Long Beach?
Yeah, it was right after I graduated from Penn State. I was going to stay there and get my master's degree and train out of Penn State in the meantime. And I just got a call. It was like my first job interview call with Hofstra. I didn't know what I expected, if I would get it or not. I just kind of wanted to go through the interview process and went and did it. I actually really enjoyed the coaching staff. And I was like, all right, well, if I get the job, I guess this is what I'm going to do.
Right.
So,
because
like 2012 or summer 2011 maybe.
And
with NCAA, wouldn't you say like it's kind of like, yeah, you can throw out a bunch of interviews if they're open, and you can pick which one you want, but like there's not a whole bunch to choose from. You got to kind of can't be like Hofstra. I don't know. I'm waiting to hear from Ohio.
Yeah, and Hofstra was actually coming off a couple of pretty good years, and on top, I mean, you got to get your foot in the door because there's not that many jobs. Right. And once you're in that like coaching world, you can kind of move around and improve yourself. But I mean, every year there's high level guys graduating that want coaching jobs. So it's important to get your foot in the door there if you do want to be coaching.
Which brings me to my next question. You have your degree in engineering?
Yeah, architectural engineering.
You also have your foot in the door with being a coach. After you hang up the shoes from wrestling, what's the move for Dan Vallimont?
I mean, I have an engineering job lined up if I want it, which is really cool. It's through one of the people that actually helps fund the Pennsylvania Regional Training Center. I live in one of their buildings.
So sick.
And so they've told me, I went and shadowed for them a little bit, and they just said, well, whenever your career's over, just let us know and we'll plug you in.
And that's in Pennsylvania?
It's right in Philadelphia. So
you're going to be in Philly till you're...
Well, now that this whole Fanatic Wrestling thing has taken off, honestly, this is the route, if it pans out, that I'm leaning towards. So
really?
I'm looking more into that and using my engineering and project management skills to kind of help with the logistical side of this company. So I get to deal with athletes on a daily basis. I love engineering. I love construction. I don't love the idea of doing the same thing. It's not the same thing, but waking up at the same time every day, waking up at 5 a.m., working until 5 p.m. I love the idea.
You want to be the man. You don't want to work for the man.
I mean, obviously, who doesn't want that? But
right. I'm doing it. And sometimes I wake up, I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, I think if I really wanted to, I could fucking figure it out by myself. You know what I mean? But like I was talking to Stan, there's a ton of stress that comes with that. Like, what am I going to do today to make money? You know?
Yeah, for sure.
Versus like now, I just wake up and show up and you're going to make money.
Yeah.
Yeah. True. But I mean that coaching is an option too, which I haven't ruled it out and seeing what makes itself available. And
that's what we were just talking about before you jumped on. And it relates to wrestlers, jiu-jitsu practitioners, and MMA fighters. What do you do when you're done competing and making money competing? And how can you earn a living? And for most guys, it's coaching, but for some guys, it's not.
Yep. And it's unfortunate for some people that just don't really have a plan like that. And that's, I think, what a lot of these regional training centers have started to do. At least I know the Pennsylvania Regional Training Center does a great job with like this engineering job that I'm linked up with if I want it.
They hooked it up.
They're a sponsor. And over the past 4 years, I've been getting introductions to these people in this company and getting to know them. And so they're not just hiring me on a whim. Like they know about me. They know I've given back to these college programs. So they want to help me. And that's the same thing they're doing with a lot of all the other guys. They're trying to kind of get them into some sort of mentorship program in a field that is desirable to them. So I don't know if every RTC is doing that. I think that is something that's pretty cool about what's going on here. Is it going to work 100% of the time? I don't think so, but I think it's cool that you do have that option where you can train and compete and you don't have to be worried like, oh crap, once I'm done, how the heck do I get a job? That is scary. That's for a while. I was kind of like, oh, well, do I want to coach? Do I want to get into engineering? I can only stay out of engineering for so long. Like, I'm going to be the guy in 2021 who has a degree. I graduated in 2010. You don't think the technology and stuff's changed? Like, the people that are graduating from my field, and I have zero experience. Like, how am I going to get this job unless the person knows me?
Right.
So, and I think networking has always been big in wrestling and probably in other martial arts too. I can't say from experience.
Networking is amazing across the board in anything, really.
Sure, I agree. But I felt like I've seen it a lot just because of the tight-knit. Well, I would say not even necessarily wrestling. I would say in one-on-one competition sports where you actually, it's not just your teammates. You actually get to know a lot more about your competitors, different coaching staffs. You're training with other guys. Like, you're not just interacting with your team where you might do that more so like if you're playing baseball or football, where you're not really branching out and getting involved with other teams and coaches and stuff. So in wrestling, you can really spread your name out just by training, going to different training camps and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's the one thing that's definitely different from MMA. Well, not necessarily MMA, but in definitely jiu-jitsu. Like, this is your school. You don't leave this. You don't go and train with other people unless, like, you're on vacation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I started seeing that, I'm like, what?
It's a little bit. It's not as bad in MMA, and it's a little bit in MMA, but not really. Wrestling, it doesn't exist. Jiu-jitsu, it's so fucking gross. Like, it's like, what the fuck? It's almost like real life, like politics come into play in jiu-jitsu, like they do in America.
Wild.
Like, almost ruins the whole aspect of getting better and going to other gyms and learning a different program. And, oh, this guy wins, I'm gonna do what this guy does. No, we don't do that here. You know, you got to be open-minded. But Dan, so you were at Hofstra, something Menace used to do before all of his fights, or a good amount of his fights, at least we'll say the ones that he won, is he would pop into the Hofstra wrestling ring.
I always went, you pussy.
All right, I'm just saying. I was trying to give them the disclaimer. So the ones that every fight, he would pop into the Hofstra wrestling room. How many times, or how about this? When he would come in, would you coach Menace or would you coach the people to fuck Menace up? Your wrestlers to fuck Menace up?
It depends on what the situation was. If Dennis was just coming in to get a wrestling workout in and we're in the middle of our season and we have a guy that needs to get ready for a big match, I got to be on his side. But if Dennis is coming in a training camp and he's wrestling with one of our freshmen, obviously I'm going to be on his side. And then if I'm going with him, I'm just going to beat him up every time.
Because that's got to be funny. That's got to be funny, though, where if, like, Dan's running the wrestling practice and you come in and he starts coaching against you, like, he's tired, he's done, like, fuck him up. And then you guys are in
the me?
I'm just saying, or he's screaming shit for the other guy. And then you guys are in the apartment. Wait.
Here's what happened.
And then you guys are in the apartment like an hour later. And you're just sitting there, like, making your fucking protein shake. And he's just like...
Here's what would happen. So, depending on the caliber of guy, like, if it wasn't somebody in the starting lineup, it would be like, Dennis, get another one. Dennis, he would be pushing me almost like cardio, like, get on this guy, stay on him, like, crush him. But with the starting guy, which when Dan was there, that was a lot of the time, that's how it was, is I was usually winning. There was a couple guys, if I went up with some weight, that would be, but it was Dan telling those guys, yo, do this. Don't let that. I'd be listening to Dan like, nah, nigga. Like, I could hear what Dan's saying. I ain't let you do that, dog.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, most of the time, if you were in there, I was wrestling too, though. I wasn't really.
Yes.
Days Dennis came in, I usually wrestled. I wrestled most of the days too, because it was when Dennis and I lived together that Dennis made me start training again. Because I had taken
Oh, that's right. Dan was fully. I forgot about it. Dan was fully like, I'm just a coach now. And I remember I was living with him. I was like, no, dude, fuck that, dude. I see you in there fucking up these guys, because at the time you guys had a couple All-Americans.
Yeah.
And Dan was making it look like they can't wrestle. I'm like, dude, Dan, like, you're sick, dude. You're still so good. You do it every day. Like, take a fucking run at it, dude. Like, you're getting paid anyways, like, and he was like, yeah, you're right. I'm like, you're same age as me. Let's just train together. Because in my head, it was going to be like I was going to be living there for a very long time. I mean, you were going to be like Rocky and Apollo, you know? And, no.
But yeah, well, I mean, I wouldn't be sitting right here right now if you didn't make me wrestle.
I didn't make you. I just was like, I mean, there wasn't.
You didn't make me. You convinced me to, because I was like, oh, my roommate's fighting in the UFC. I'm like, what the heck am I doing here? So, and he's right, exactly how he said it. That's like, he was like, well, if we're going to live together, we should both be freaking training.
Right. You push me, I push you.
Yeah.
There's going to be days I don't want to go for a run. You make me run, vice versa.
Menace says it all the time. You look like shit. Start working out. You reflect on me. He says that type of shit to me all the time.
Yeah, but I'm not.
It's a real motivator.
But yeah, Menace needs to be a motivator. We've talked about this before. Like not joking. He could be a real motivational speaker.
I know, I got good stuff, but it's like, you know what's weird is I can't give out general motivation. I need someone to be like, yo, this is my problem. How do I do it? And then I can be like, okay. And not even being a dick, like, okay, give me A, B, and so when this happens, what do you do? And I can start giving them.
Granted, and they were amateur MMA fighters and you were a pro, but I remember one time, fights in New York, where a couple of guys from Long Island MMA said, I spoke to Menace before the fight, and I was fucking up anybody tonight. Like Menace.
Not that they spoke to me, I grabbed them. I pulled them aside. I'm like,
yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. You grabbed them.
I was just on.
Yeah, and you gave them like some fucking wisdom or just some, you could do this, blah, blah, blah.
I bought like, the fights were in Queens. I bought like 2 energy drinks on Long Island. I drove out with my jiu-jitsu coach, drank them both, and I was like, yeah, tonight, it's going down. And I started grabbing everybody before the fight. Like, listen, this is what you're going to do. A, B, and C. How do you feel? You feel you're nervous? You're not? You're lying to me. You should feel nervous. This is a big opportunity. That's you telling your body's ready to go. And I was doing good. Speaking of which, Dan, do you have a mental coach?
I did for a while until COVID. We actually had access to this woman at UPenn. She was
so
Olympic.
Sick, right?
Yeah, no, it was amazing.
It's like unlocking horsepower in a stock vehicle, kind of. You know what I mean? Or like actually for us, race cars. You know.
Dan, would you let Menace be your mental coach?
I couldn't. I would 1,000% if he wanted to talk to me, I would. Whatever.
That's what I was gonna say. Is there that?
Yeah, we're going with that too. Yeah, like it's too emotionally driven, probably. Right, like too close.
Well, no, I'm saying it's me and you are too close where you could be like, Dennis, fuck off.
It's
and
too.
There wouldn't be. Yeah. There could lose a connection, like a.
Or I could just tell you what you want to hear, maybe even too, like just because.
Right. Yeah, almost like you tell your parents, like, "Yep, love you, love." Like, not that you don't love them, but just whatever. Yep, yeah. I know what you're saying.
But what about even Dennis being like a hype man before you compete?
So when Dan did start competing, I was so busy with my own fighting, but like I wanted to go and corner him a few times. It just never worked out.
Bro, because the positive affirmation in fighting, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, that shit goes far. The highest example you can use is Mike Tyson. And Mike Tyson will say, that's what made me so good was my coach or my mental coach, because Customato was like his mental coach, telling him how good he looked.
Right. I mean, I remember, especially towards the end of my career, I stopped taking people that I thought should be in my corner and started grabbing people that just like when I look at them like, yeah, I'm going to fuck this guy up. Like, all right. Like Algieri was in my last fight. Like, he's one of those guys like, Dennis, this is what you need to do. And I'm like, okay. Keith Trimble was up there without me even knowing it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Part of my thought process in that is that I know Menace knows what he's talking about. And then Dan, like I said, you're always talked about. Menace always sings your praises.
Yeah, I was one of his biggest fans throughout his entire MMA career. I mean, I don't remember if I did this for sure, but I'm almost positive I texted him leading up to every fight, either the night before.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, and not even that, like professionally. Like he praises your wrestling ability.
Yeah. Thankful for that.
But. Yes, and obviously your personal too. but your wrestling ability always talks about how good Dan Vallimont is and the potential that's there. So sometimes you need that positive affirmation. So I'm not saying he will be your mental coach, but if you ever need a little positive affirmation, Menace might be the guy.
No, and you definitely do need that.
I'll send out a little message.
You do need people reaching out to you like that, and he's been that for me in the past too. So for sure, I heard it on the show because I need to watch more often. But
wait, Dan, is this your first? Is this your first episode tuning in?
It is not, because when I thought I was going to be on last.
hang on.
I thought I was going to be on last year, and so I watched a few because I was nervous. I was like, I don't really understand what's going on here.
We don't even.
I'm like, dude, we just get on here and we just shoot the shit.
We don't.
It was like this time last year.
We don't even know what's going on here. Yeah, it's different.
Yo, I tell them, like, we're going to talk about Burroughs versus Valencia, and then who knows? In 5 minutes, we may be talking about aliens. Like, I don't know where this will go. And we didn't even talk about Burroughs and Valencia, really. We
touched on it. Well, Burroughs
it's at a different weight class.
Is Burroughs LeBron James? Do you bet against him? You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to go, I'm betting against Burroughs. Like, how often are you going to do that? Is Burroughs old? What is Burroughs, 34 now?
33. He's a year younger than me. He graduated 06 in high school. He's a year younger than us.
And now, the brain.
He's the reason why Gregor Gillespie,
retired.
You know what? Wrestling. See ya.
So obviously, I'm a casual. That's how, when Gregor first came to Lima, I was very,
He's like, I'm not wrestling anymore because of Jordan Burroughs.
I was very intrigued. I was very intrigued by Gregor. Because Gregor was national champion, 4-time All-American, coming to MMA. So I saw Koscheck. I was like, oh shit, this guy could be as good as he wants to be, So I remember asking him, like, why don't you go for the Olympics? And he said that to me. You ever hear of Jordan Burroughs? And I was like, no. At that point, I had no idea who Jordan Burroughs was.
Right.
And then I was like, oh.
Gregor could have potentially beat him in folk style, but the rules of freestyle, there was, no chance, really. I mean, there was a chance, obviously, with training and preparation and just having the right day and off day. But, on paper, from what happened in folk style, he was just like, I can't.
But Burroughs is super explosive, right?
Yeah, so is Gregor.
I'm saying Burroughs versus Valencia, or Burroughs getting older, super explosive. At what point might he lose a step where it could impact how sound technically is Burroughs? You got...
He's very good, but he's very good at chain wrestling and putting moves together. At some point, it's got to slow down a little bit.
Dan, does Burroughs have that in his toolbox to where when he loses that step, does he have the rest of it? You know what I mean?
He does. And what he did, it was, I don't know, 3-4 years ago, maybe, I don't know, when people started doubting him, I really can't remember. It might have been actually right after the 2016 Olympics. So then he came back in 2017 and looked really good, but he was a completely different wrestler. And it's just his ability to reinvent himself and kind of accept that maybe people are figuring out that he's going to shoot a double leg from 6 feet away from you and blast you off your feet. People figured that out and they figured out how to wrestle him. So now he's done a lot better at creating angles and kind of getting his opponents to move laterally. And then chain wrestling out of his shots too, and going straight to his turns and freestyle. And it's kind of specific to just freestyle international wrestling, where he's getting his takedown. He goes straight to a leg lace and he tech falls people now, where he used to just kind of rely on, I'm just going to double leg.
Let him up, takedown, let him up.
And so I think he's what helps him to be that way is he's able to kind of recognize, all right, I keep doing the same thing and people are figuring it out. Yes, I'm really, really good at it, but maybe I need to change something a little bit. One
thing I watched change over the years was he would hit a generic. His is a little different, level change, penetration shot. Then he started just hitting penetration shots for 2 inches off the ground. Or that reshot, regular penetration shot. I blocked it. Oh my God! Thank the Lord. Bang.
Both of you guys being lifelong wrestlers, his double is ridiculous. Like that, it's almost like he just crouches down and whatever the distance is, and he fucking shoots a
Yeah, and the thing is, like, you don't want to get your head in the way of it either, but that's how you're supposed to defend it. You got to get your head in the way. But I mean, I've seen some guys that have trained with them to post pictures out. I think Jake Herbert did a couple years ago, because with their whole eyes and faces split open, because I mean, you're going to eat his forehead, like shooting at you like a torpedo, and you got to stop that momentum with your face.
Yeah. That's one of those, like in like jiu-jitsu, like when someone has their forearm on your face for a real naked choke, you go like, all right, cool. But like training, like if you wrestle Jordan Burroughs, you should have a black eye leaving.
Yeah, like
correctly
to sprawl on his double, you might get fucked up.
Like, Dan, that was the best. Like after like a tournament, and you're like on the bus ride home, and you look in the mirror, and you have like your eyebrows this big. You're like, man, I wrestled hard. Like
It does make you feel like you did something.
Yeah. Like for me, I didn't win, but I wrestled hard.
Nobody needs to know that part. They just need to see like you look tough, you know.
Well, I won the Navy Classic. That's my claim to fame. That's all I got.
Hey.
How many college tournaments did you win?
One.
Did you win that West Virginia Open? No, right?
No, I lost to Metcalf twice. My first college.
You had him like the second round, no?
Yeah, I lost in overtime in like the second round. Then he lost in the semis, and I got him in the wrestle.
And you wrestled me. You kept winning, and then you met him.
I wrestled Tram too, I think.
So wait, what weight did you two wrestle at?
49 our freshman year.
That was 149, yeah.
Okay.
And then it might have been 157 after that.
All right, like what
would have been.
You were 49 your whole time, Menace?
No, I was 49.
Didn't you do
then
lower than that, no?
Off and everything, and then my buddy Matt Moley. Dan, you wrestled Matt Moley, no?
Yeah, when we wrestled at Virginia Duels, I wrestled Moley. You wrestled
right? He was so you could enter two guys in like the first two tournaments of the year. You could enter two guys in each weight class from each team, and he would just do better than me in the tournaments.
Wait, Matt Moley was the one who partied and just like didn't give a fuck and still did good, right? Yes. So now,
two-time All-American, I think.
So now,
two times should have been three.
So obviously, Dan, you worked hard, but like, what was your status? Were you one of those guys? Like, you still partied, or was like wrestling life? Like, I don't drink during season. I don't fuck girls during season.
I would say my redshirt freshman year. So like high school, I had it locked in. Like I wasn't drinking. I wasn't out doing really anything stupid at all. Like not during season at all.
Same in high school.
But yeah, redshirt freshman year when you realize you're not the starter, and you just go to like a tournament every like 2 months. It gets easy to kind of slack off a little bit and be like, well, I don't gotta make weight for 2.5 months.
I'll get it down. Yeah. I just won't eat for a week, or
So like that year, and I didn't really feel like I got much better my redshirt year because of that. Probably, I did win the last tournament of the year was the only tournament I won. The Edinburgh Open was the only tournament I ever won.
Okay.
Wait, 49? I lied. I won the Penn State Open 3 times. I lied, but
wow. Hang on, Stan. Do you know how many people are in the Penn State Open?
Nope. How many?
The bracket's like
they are huge.
60 or 80 people.
And now I'm thinking, what was Gregor? Gregor was a year younger than you guys?
Same age.
Same age, and Gregor was same weight, no?
I wrestled him at 149 at NCAA's. The year he won, he beat me in one of the earlier rounds. The next year, we were both up at 157. He was the number 1 ranked guy, and he lost, and then I beat him in the wrestlebacks. I took 3rd, and he took 5th then.
Did you ever wrestle Menace?
He stayed down and I went up.
It's very weird. So I was 149 freshman year, but I was a prop 48, or is it prop 49? Prop 48, where like I wasn't even eligible to be on a team because my SAT scores weren't high enough or some bullshit. But I still whatever. So then my redshirt freshman year, Matt Moley was on a team. So I beat him wrestle off, but he did better in the tournament. So he got 57. He got 49. I wrestled off for 57, got that. So I was 157 for 2 years, and then Matt was like, I can't make 49 anymore. I'm going to go 57. So then when he went 57, I bumped down to 49. And Gregor did it at the same time.
And it went the other way.
Right.
Yes, because then even like I was segueing into like there's those guys like I'll say a Gregor who now tireless worker, but college was a fuck off. Like fucked around.
He was such a he tells me all the time, Dan, he was
I know.
such a piece of shit. He was like last in sprints, like
I wouldn't say it about him. He said unless he said it himself. So I've heard some stories about him too. So.
Yeah,
tell me
he's a role
and he won a national title still.
Yeah.
Well, no, he would tell me he would fuck off in all the sprints at the end of the practice. And at the end of the sprints, coach would be like, all right, whoever wins this one, you're done. He was like, I'd put the Jets on and win that one. Dude, because like the workhorses that fucking go hard every single one. He was like, King was ready to fucking kill me, dude. Like,
well, even something that was funny for me was knowing Gregor from day one into MMA, whatever, and then talking to him telling me the stories. Then when I went to California, I met Ryan Lang Vallimont.
Yep.
I met Ryan Lang, and he was like, Gregor's my boy, bro. And all his stories corroborated everything Gregor had ever said. And I was like, oh, okay.
Ryan was pretty wild, too, when he was younger, wasn't he? I know he's not Western, but I've never really hung out with him, but I heard he was pretty wild, too.
He was another guy at partied, too, and somehow won a title. And you're like, what?
Yeah, like just wrestled on autopilot. I think, Ryan was a runner-up. And a two-time All-American and a runner-up.
Yeah, he got beat pretty bad in the finals. I forget who he wrestled that year, but yeah, he's definitely a finalist though.
I'm forgetting who he wrestled that year too, but he was supposed to win. It was a huge upset.
He got beat like bad too, and it was like everybody. It was in Detroit. It was my freshman year. It was the same year Gregor won.
And now, when he got that, he told me the story of that, and he was like, bro, I wasn't even there. He was like, I was so fucked up. And then I forget who he wrestled. Darren
Bakersfield kid.
He told me a story about the match before the finals.
Was that 41?
It was. Well, yeah, because he wrestled Darian Caldwell is where he was about to go with that. That was the craziest, 40-second match I've ever seen.
He was getting fucked up by Caldwell.
They both threw each other to the back, multiple times.
Yeah.
The first 40 seconds of the match. It was 9-6, and then Lang.
Dude, we gotta get Darren Caldwell on the show, dude. I forgot about that dude.
I'm sure Darian would 100% come on the show too.
Another shot that we need to shoot. But I've seen many of those guys that were just fuck offs. That it's like, no. I'm all fucked up in my personal life. I'm a drug addict, alcoholic, whatever. But put me on a wrestling mat, and I'm one of the best alive. Like, even for Menace, I know Menace always says, fuck, not, satirically, he says, fuck those guys, because Menace worked tirelessly.
I try to do all the right things, by the book, But there's almost, so Dan, there's that, I think some of those guys, like Gregor and Ryan, that it's almost like what John Jones was doing early in his career. He would be partying the weekend before. If I lose, this is the reason why. I have a reason why I lost.
You could use that as
because I was partying the weekend before. Not that I tried my hardest. It relieves stress.
Well, it's kind of like a crutch, I guess, because you can
exactly
use that as an excuse. If I wanted to, I would have won. So yeah.
Yeah, but I was partying, and then you win, and you're like, wow, you fucker.
I'm fucking good. I'm good.
I totally get it. Because for me, I'd be in a match, I'm wrestling Dan Vallimont, I'm like, man, I did everything right. Why am I losing? And this pressure builds up.
One correlation you see, or at least I've seen between that, is wrestling dads. Two things. They all started when they were 5, 7, 8. They all started really young, and they had a wrestling dad.
Dan, when did you start wrestling?
2nd grade.
All right, so
he's there.
You're in that ballpark.
Did you have a wrestling dad?
He wrestled in high school. He wasn't the stereotypical wrestling dad now. Like he was like, he asked me if I wanted to do it, and the only reason I said yes is because it was like my dad asked me. I feel like he wants me to say yes, and like I didn't really think I would like it. I just went to like a summer clinic in second grade, and then I ended up just really liking it. But he never made me do. The good thing was like he never made me go anywhere. If I wanted to go to a tournament, he would take me, but he was never that guy that's like bashing me in the corner because I didn't shoot on a kid or something. Like
Right.
the only time I ever got yelled at is when I was disrespectful if I lost matches, like when I was a little kid and threw temper tantrums, which I deserved.
Yeah.
Which I don't know exactly how I feel about that. Could you see kids lose a match and like, well,
Yeah,
like,
I threw
shit.
some stupid.
You actually give a shit. That's why you're like, fuck, this is bullshit. Like, yes, obviously there's
Levels
like we
to
see a
it.
kid like lose, he's like, he's upset. All right, great.
I'm fine with
I still do that.
Yeah, I still do that too.
But when a kid like
I was throwing shit
and
I was doing that.
over chairs, I guess that's where you got like, yo,
like third grade,
together.
fourth grade, like throwing my headgear, like stupid stuff like that. Like I deserve to be reprimanded for that. But in general, he was really good at like, I'm here for you if you need anything. I'm not going to make you do anything, but like if you want to go get private lessons, I'm willing to drive you. I'm willing to pay for them. That was. If I do have a kid ever that wrestles, I would hope that I kind of follow that same path, because I've seen way too many parents that are trying to live vicariously through their kids, and their kids are second, third graders. And
Right. Yeah.
it's really sad to see it sometimes. Those parents, some parents are crazy, and that's in every sport too. But I just in wrestling I've been wrestling.
Yeah, but it's so weird how. Well, not that's weird, but nobody's the same. Everybody takes, like, for example, like my dad didn't give one fuck about wrestling. So, like, for me, it's like, man, let me show him. Like, I worked my butt off, like, Pop, like, look, I'm doing this good. Like, yeah, all right. Like, but he didn't know anything, you know what I mean? And then, like, so for me, it was like my dad not paying attention made me work so hard that he could be like, yeah, my son's pretty good, you know. Like pretty good, you know. And then on the opposite side, our buddy Alex, like I remember him telling me like he wasn't doing good in like a club practice.
Yeah.
And like his dad fucking ripped him out of practice and like whooped his ass.
Yeah.
And then that's when he was young. He still went on to wrestle in college and try, you know. And then like Gregor, I remember Gregor like majored a kid, like almost tech fouled him. And his dad like, you should have pinned that kid in like the second period, like run home. And then Gregor's dad went to all the parents and said, do not give him a ride home. He like won the tournament. Do not give him a ride home. Do not give him a ride home.
There was this kid.
Gregor ran home in the snow.
We had this kid that him and I used to have always really had close matches. This kid, Chris DeBlock from Jersey. And like him and I were really good friends. Our parents were really good friends, but his dad was like, he could be a little bit of a hothead.
The opposite of your dad.
Yes. Like my dad doesn't say a word. Like he's a louder guy, but the district tournament, top 3 from the district tournament go on to the regional tournament. So my freshman year, Chris beat me during the regular season. So he was a 3 seed. I was the 4 seed. And I ended up beating him for 3rd to go to states. So he was just out. He didn't go to the state tournament or the regional tournament. And his dad made him shovel the yard, like not the driveway, made him actually go out, like snow shovel the grass, the whole yard at his house. Like he had to actually, like, I don't know how much snow. I remember we had like good amount of snow.
Yeah.
I was like, you go outside and you're shoveling the whole entire yard, not the driveway, but just shoveling the grass.
Didn't Menace, you used to like punish yourself? Like,
I was awful. So my freshman year, yo, Dan will really like this because nobody knows this happened except for Alex. So my freshman year, it's me and my buddy Alex. He's better than me. I like catch up. I get better. Whatever. He fails out his freshman year, right? So then he spends the first half of I'll talk to the guy like once a week. Like, yo, Alex, what's going on? Like, he's like my best buddy. And I'm like, dude, get your fucking GPA up and come back to school, you know? So he gets his grades up enough to come back to Bloomsburg, and there were wrestle-offs. Dan, your mic's off.
I know, it's because my wife's in here. She's on the phone, so I'm going back.
You whatever. Anyways, so it's me versus Alex. And I'm like, I'm better than him now. He's been away. And I had wrestled against him where, like, I was doing better, you know? So wrestle-off comes. Alex beats me. I'm like, what the fuck? So I just run out of the wrestling room. You remember Bloomsburg, right? Here,
Yeah,
the field house. I run, and I'm in like regular workout gear. I run, and it was still like fall. So I run all the way down the field house to Spruce Street. Spruce Street is this hill that's like fucking this. And I just start running Spruce Street. And like, we were like one of the like, towards the end, like wrestle-offs. And my coach comes and finds me running Spruce Street, and he's like, get in the car. I'm like, no, fuck this. This is bullshit. I fucking hate this shit. I quit. He's like, you don't fucking quit. You're not quitting. Get in the car. I'm like, no, coach, I don't want, like, because you know when your coach, like, tells you to do something, and you're like, at first you might be like, fuck off. Second time, like, no. Third time, like, I don't want to. Fourth time, like, fine. You know, and I'm in the car, and that happened. You probably beat the fucking guy I wrestled. Who's the kid from, was it Drexel that had, like, his throws were nasty? He had a younger brother as well.
I'm trying to
like his thing. I think it was a side headlock or lat throw.
I'm not sure.
Was it Drexel? Anyways, I remember my coach was like, yo, and he's never said this to me before. Like, yo, you're wrestling so-and-so. Watch out for this. Like, yo, this kid's good at this. So, like, he even, like, gave me a few drills to, like, be good at that. So I win that match, like, and this kid, I think he tack pinned me. It was like tack pinning somebody is the biggest insult clowning somebody you can do, right, Dan?
Yeah.
Like, and the thing is, it was like dumb shit. Like, I would get up like in rage and attack him, and then he would just be like, okay, like I would get like the takedown, and like he would reverse me to my back type shit, like for 5. I'm like, nah! And I would get out, and it would just, dude, I lost. I ran out of the gymnasium. It's like January, singlet down, and just started doing laps around the field house. Like, people were looking at me like, what? It's 30 degrees out. He's running in spandex with his shirt. Like, what is wrong with this guy? But no, I think I don't.
And and being the only Puerto Rican up there, they were probably like, "Yo, these Puerto Ricans are fucking wild."
Up here too, yeah.
These Puerto Ricans are wild.
I wanted it so bad it hurt me. That's a thing.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah, some guys. Well, some guys have that motivation. Other guys who kind of push there and just become that guy through the wrestling dads. Or so even we could segue to that. Like, Dan, you have brothers, sisters, anything like that?
2 younger sisters.
All right, so they didn't wrestle.
It's wild that he's the success story he is with. Not saying I'm gonna say your sisters didn't push you to be who you are today.
Maybe he had to get tough to protect them.
Nah, that wasn't the case either. Really, they were like, I was never worried about them. They were they stuck to themselves. They were good. Like, they got good grades. They were never like, I was never worried about like
players now.
Guys coming. Yeah, I was never worried about like the wrong people, them hanging out with the wrong people.
Wait,
they were good at soccer, right?
Yeah, they didn't party. They didn't do like.
You kept them away from Menace, right?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
So that's next question is relationship status right now. Single?
Married.
Married.
Married? No kids?
No kids.
All right. Was the wife with you in the room right now?
She just walked in a couple minutes ago, but she's actually in the shower right now.
All right, because then
Stan, she could probably squat you. She could squat,
Probably.
and definitely more than she can squat more than me probably right now.
I just do cardio and wrestle. I don't lift anymore. She like did like some like powerlifting competitions back in the day.
What's she throwing up?
I don't know.
Well, I was going to take you to a hypothetical.
You don't want to know. You're like, all right, sick, babe.
A hypothetical question.
Awesome.
A hypothetical question. When you and Menace were roommates, over or under, how many girls did you see Menace bring home? 15, over or under? We got 6 months, right? You guys lived together in 6 months?
Yeah.
Or you guys lived together for 6 months? All right, I'll give him 15, and that's lowballing it. Over or under?
I'm gonna say under because not for anything that is against Dennis. It was because it was the same people. It was like the same group of people.
Yeah, hang on.
Stan,
I'm going to come in and say it's way under 15 because me and Dan sometimes would get too bombed where, like, we're going to go out and, like, yeah, we're going to bar hop, and, like, we just wouldn't make it out of our complex. So our complex was fucked up because it was, like,
it was
apartment, right? And then there was a bunch of other apartments, right? So me and Dan would do, like, a power hour. Bang. Like, all right, you ready to go? I feel awesome. You feel good? Yeah, sick. We walk out of our door. Our neighbor would be like, what's up, guys? Want a beer? Like, okay. We have a beer with him. We would maybe it'd be 2 beers. Then we move. We're trying to get the stairs. Someone else like, yo, want a beer? Okay, bang, a beer there. Get down the stairs, and there was this like
fire. They had a fire pit or something down there.
Our apartment was like this. Like, this is all apartments. This is all apartments up here. Then there was stairs that came down the middle, and same thing downstairs. So this was like this little like fire pit and grill down there. So we get down there, and there's usually people hanging out down there too. Like, yo, what's up, guys? Didn't see you guys. Like, want a beer? Like, okay. So like before we even got like even walking to Long Beach, hang on, we drank anywhere from 6 to 9 beers in the power hour. Now we're downstairs. We're at like 12 beers. We're like,
I would say the girls
are bet. You know,
you didn't really want to chase down the girls in Long Beach anyway. You needed to find people from somewhere else.
Yeah,
and that required going to bars in different places, which we
like. And then the few times like, dude, let's do a bar crawl. We'll start one end. We'll work down. Like,
and wait, now that I'm racking my brain, you had a kid on the way. You might have been in a relationship at that time as well.
If anything, I was self-destructive.
Mm.
Yeah, no, the relationship did start to become a real thing. Then.
But that's why I asked that question, Dan, because I've seen Menace do some things. We'll leave it at that.
I gotcha.
Used to be a real lady killer.
So now your lady, where'd you guys meet?
Long Beach.
I was gonna say I knew that's where it happened.
From there, though. She's not from there. She's from Brooklyn, but she lives in PA. Well, her family grew up in PA. She was actually out there for school.
Because Long Beach is a hot spot.
It is. I mean, it's a great spot for people that were our age, like 20 to 30s. But it's a really cultish town, though. Like, if you're not from there, eventually, like, people, they don't, like, accept you as a local ever. It's
one example I use is Vellante. Gian Vellante loved it so much he moved there.
Yeah, I heard he moved there. I actually didn't know that.
We'd have to get him on to find out if the girl that he had a baby with was from Long Beach, but there's a pretty good chance.
A kid now. I wonder if he still lives there or not.
I would imagine.
You would imagine? What do you mean? That's not like the environment you want to like.
No, I don't think
the temptation of going out and having.
I mean, total speculation. I don't think he was renting. I think he bought something on the water.
I'm pretty sure he bought a
condo on the water, right?
Something like that.
Or it might be
buy like an apartment or some shit.
Yeah, he might
buy those condos. Like the houses are. I don't know, for just him, a girl, and a kid. Like you'd have to. They aren't cheap, and they don't go up for sale.
Not big either.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, they're not.
All right. Well, that was, like I said, speculation, but
We gotta get him back on. Yeah, for sure.
Long Beach, great place. But Dan, what are you getting into tonight? Anything? Or what did we catch you in the middle of?
Well, I'm going to do some work for Fanatic Wrestling and be a bum pretty much. My birthday's tomorrow, so saving up
happy
tomorrow.
birthday, dude.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah, cheers to you.
Dennis did make me go to the beer store real fast. I said that I didn't want to drink.
What is that?
Oh, I was going to say next time.
Like what?
I was going to say next time come prepared, Dan. This is what we do here, but I see you are prepared.
He told me. So, but I was
What is that?
I'm
Bud
not
Light
drinking
what?
anything at all today. Black cherry. Seltzer.
Oh, all right. I didn't know Bud Light made seltzers.
Cheers, Dan.
Oh, I got some pumpkin ale there.
Yes, Great South Bay.
Denner's got a mystery drink down there.
No, it's Great South Bay, dude.
Dennis is not drinking beer for the month of November.
I told him that.
Yeah, you did tell me earlier. I forgot though.
Which makes it's funny because me and Dan, so I fought in August and then it was just like, what? Because his season didn't start really till they start training a little bit at the end of August and September. So there was 2 weeks of me and Dan just what's up, dude? Just smashing drinks, And then September's roll around, dude, we're starting to get fat. We got to switch over to vodka sodas.
I did.
So whenever I drink a vodka soda, that pops in my head.
0 carbs.
Yeah.
Oh, always the vodka soda. Remember I was on that kick a little bit?
Remember I made you do it for a little bit? You did lose some weight.
Yeah, but then I went back to the beer, and now I'm fat again.
Yeah.
But
It's hard this time. Pumpkin ales are good. You can take 250 calories a pop with them and 30 carbs, something crazy like that.
I'm
The
not.
thing what people don't know is when you drink alcohol and then you eat, your body goes, whoa, fuck that food. There's poison in our system. Let's break that down first, and then we'll get to the food later. So let's break down the poison, which is the alcohol, and it goes, hang on, we don't have enough time to break down this food. Let's store this fat, and we'll get to that later. So pretty much you drink, your body processes the alcohol, and the food gets and then with carbs, even more so.
Yes, but Dan, we're trying to be the man show here. We talk about shit like that. Alcohol tips, stupid shit,
you.
wrestling tips. You don't pay attention to MMA at all, right?
No, he does.
Yeah, I mean, I've lost track a little bit. I cornered Yves Edwards in a fight before. I mean, I've been to plenty of them.
Dan's the reason why I met Yves Edwards. Yves Edwards he had a strong connection. Yves knew, that's the part of his game he needed to get better at.
All right. I was under the impression that Dan and Yves came into that situation through you. But all right, so Dan knew Yves.
Actually, you were in the Ultimate Fighter. I didn't realize that you were in the finals yet because you didn't tell anybody.
Right.
But Yves wanted me to go train with him down at ATT, and I couldn't go. And I was like, well, I know Dennis is fighting. Maybe Dennis wants to go down. It ended up being perfect for you. I didn't realize how
it was something weird where you had you could have gone, but it was gonna be you had something you kind of had to do, and you're like, Dennis, can you go for me?
It was right when I started at Hofstra. I don't remember. Right. It was something I was like, I can't take a week off right when I'm starting. It was something like that.
Right.
And then you went down there and trained with him, and then that started that connection, I guess, between you guys.
And then Yves would come train. Yves would come stay with me and Dan.
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, Dan, did you ever look at Dennis and be like, fuck, I could do this shit. I can go fight.
No.
It was never an idea for you?
I had considered fighting a little bit, but I went to school for engineering. I don't need to get punched in the head for a living. It looks like, honestly, I love training it. I love learning. Once I'm done wrestling, I would like to learn a little bit more. When I was working with Yves, I did some basic striking, some Muay Thai, and I rolled jiu-jitsu with those guys plenty of times.
It's just a different look, a different workout, something you've never done.
And when you don't know that much, you learn so much so fast, so you can feel like you're learning a lot, which you are. And it is a lot of fun. So I think I got into it a little late too. Right. I was just going in a different path. If it was as big as it was maybe 5 years ago when I was...
When you came out of college?
Yeah, when I was like a little younger, because it never crossed my mind to do it while I was in college. It wasn't until after when I started working with Yves, and I'm like,
Yeah, for your age, it was a little bit before your time to where it was like, that's a career path.
Yeah.
Like Menace was one of the crazy ones that was like, nah, this is what I'm doing. I'm going to go fight people in a cage.
First, hang on. To be honest with you, no, it was, I just started doing it for fun. Like,
yeah, but I'm saying when you started Menace, you were still in that point where it's like you fight in the cage. Like it wasn't.
Someone told me like, yo, you could make X amount of dollars doing this. I was like, what?
Like
really?
Like right now, people are like, oh, UFC, Conor McGregor. Fighting got to that point where it's like everyone knows UFC. When you first started, people were probably like, dude, you work at UPS. Why don't you
fight in the cage? What?
Yeah. The mail
with gloves or bare knuckle?
Like Mortal Kombat?
Yeah.
To the death.
You could deliver the mail, bro. They won't punch you in the face.
They might sometimes, but
only if you're delivering stolen ballots, apparently, Dan.
Oh, wow.
Touche.
But Dan, we'll keep you here all night if you want to stay. But so, like I said, Menace has spoken about you many times. We're like friends, Dan. You don't even know it. So anytime you want to be my co-host or you want to come on and jump on as our third co-host, talk to anybody. We love talking about wrestling, fighting, relationships, stuff like that. You're more than welcome.
So Dan, we had like I told you, we had Mark Hall on last weekend.
We're killing it with Penn State wrestlers right now.
So no, I was just like, dude, like, do you party? He's like, I drink some beers. I'm like, okay.
I did see him.
If I ever came down to Philly and drank beers with you and Dan Vallimont, like, what would be the time? He was like,
right now.
Like now. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
And
well, he doesn't live here yet, though. That's the thing.
Well, no, he was like, Dennis, he's like, if you don't think I'll come for a night, he's like, I go back and forth all the time. He's like, if you let me know and I'll come. And I was like, whoa. And then I looked it up and you guys were on the list.
What list?
I was gonna hit you up last week, like, yo, Dan, I might come down this weekend. But Pennsylvania was on the list for
you can't go there list?
Yeah.
Or coming back from or some bullshit.
Well,
like
is that because New York City? You guys got some weird crap going up in New York.
I know.
Dan.
I'm trying to fly people up to film up in Boston with us at BJJ Fanatics, and like, if they're in the 5 boroughs, like they can't fly out of Manhattan, or they're gonna quarantine too. It just happened. They just changed the rules, right?
Oh my God, Dan, we are fucked here. We are fucked here.
Every other day, no?
Every other day, there's something new, and even now, if Joe Biden becomes the president, or they say he's going, whatever's going to happen with that, Cuomo is just going to be like, oh shit, I can do whatever. Now I can really do whatever I want.
Yeah, I'm not going to speak my mind too much about my my love for Cuomo that doesn't exist, but I don't feel bad that I don't live in New York City or in the boroughs.
Bro, so many people have left.
On the boroughs, no, Stan?
No, they say
the rules apply to us.
Yes, well, because we're in New York State. They say that we are the 6th borough, but technically that doesn't really exist. But New York State, so Cuomo is New York State. De Blasio is the city. In charge of us is Steve Ballone, like our county legislator.
Right.
So it is New York State as a whole? I thought it was just the city that you couldn't, like...
Nope, New York State as a whole. And then de Blasio comes down with his own rules as well. Well, like we don't have to apply
up there for a doctor's appointment a few days ago. But
oh my God, it's a shithole. Like even I was talking to Menace. Like, are you familiar with Gordon Ryan, Dan?
Yeah, absolutely.
He's a big. I think he has a program on BJJ Fanatic. Yeah,
he's actually he's creating another one in the very, very near future.
He's doing it from somewhere else, apparently. Somewhere tropical is what I was told by Gordon Ryan. They're leaving New York because they're not... He was posting videos on Instagram right before we went live saying, like, what am I going to pay $50 of my income for this? And then he showed homeless people on the street. He was talking about how some fat lady probably sprayed pee on him or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, like...
I actually heard that just happened today.
That's the thing, Dan. You've seen it. You're right in PA right now, but you're from Jersey. That's Manhattan.
Yeah.
And so if you put that...
desire to go to Manhattan.
If that's Manhattan, and then you take the powers of the police away, and say, we don't want you guys fucking with people, or we don't want you guys doing this and that, cops are just going to stand there while shit like that happens.
For sure.
Yeah, so I'm not...
Some lady sprayed Gordon Ryan with piss?
He said he had a water bottle. She had a water bottle. He showed his water bottle, and then he said the lady just came up, started screaming, sprayed him with a water bottle, and then he's like, what do I know is in that water bottle? That could be that lady's piss.
Oh. You
Bro,
can't put your hands on her. Like, you can't... I don't know.
I
probably would have smacked it out of her hand.
Bro, there's a weird...
It would still get on you.
It's a weird fine line. Like, you saw that one video.
He just put his house up on Instagram. It was like showing like his house is on sale. So
I was just telling Menace, yeah, so remember when in 2016 when the election happened and so many people were like, if Trump wins, I'm moving. Nobody moved. They were all full of shit. Gordon Ryan was like, if Joe Biden wins, he said if New Jersey votes Democrat, I'm fucking leaving. And they voted Democrat. He was like, I'm fucking leaving. And then he's
got some money, so he can pick.
Yeah, he was probably like, it's good reason to get out of here, you know?
Taxes are brutal anyway.
and they're about to go up, apparently. But yeah, just I respect that.
Because he's got like $1 million house.
Yeah, he was trying to sell it for 1.25 is what he had it said online.
Jiu-jitsu pays good.
Yeah, but, oh my God, yeah.
Does wrestling fanatics pay that good?
No.
Not yet. But...
Or what? Fanatic Wrestling.
Well, the thing is, Dan, I would think you would agree with this too. Like, it seems like wrestling kind of saw the money that some of these jiu-jitsu players are making, and like, we could do it too.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't ruled out like just rolling around for after I'm done. Maybe.
Oh my God, you would be a terror.
Well, what's up, Dan? When are you gonna do a beat the streets or something?
I gotta retire, yo. Well, I ain't going to beat the streets in Manhattan. We just got through this.
Well, wait, why is beat the streets just for retired wrestlers, more or less? No.
What do you mean? No. Everyone's active. What are you talking about?
No, they ask people, like they ask Burroughs, so they haven't asked me. I would if they asked me to do it. I would absolutely do it.
Oh, well, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna slide in Jesse Jansen's DMs. We're gonna be like, yo, put Vallimont on the next one you do. Even if it's
somebody else who's 34 years old.
Give him a 36-year-old. We'll go up a couple inches.
Who's in that class that still is doing it? That's in your weight class, Dan?
Jordan's like...
he's a year younger.
I'm the oldest. I'm 99% sure I'm the oldest. But
how about we do two?
That is an excuse, but I think it's the truth.
How about...
Jordan's only 1 year less than me, and he's still... knocking at the door to win world titles, so 1 year isn't an excuse for me. You know?
Who's the dude when I was living with you? Fuck, why am I drawing a blank of his name? That was like throwing people. He's got like he tans a lot too.
When?
I know I'm there. It's very general. I'm trying to think.
Menace will be like, "Who's that guy? He's white." He does.
Hang on. He definitely tans, and he like came out of retirement too to like come back too.
Jason Lapham? No. I don't think I ever met him.
No, we didn't like. I don't know him on a personal level. He was just someone I looked up to like when I was in high school, and then I remember like Beats the Streets, and he came like out and was tossing people. At 45 and a half.
You're talking about what's his name? Arizona.
He shaves like his whole body. He's like tan, black hair, like dark hair.
I feel like you're talking I don't it's killing me, I can't think of his name.
Man, it's right.
He's like a former Olympic medalist. He was but he was at Arizona State. Trained I don't know why I can't think of his name right now. Actually, really drawing a blank. But that was very vague. I was thinking you were talking about somebody like that you and I both personally knew.
No, I don't know him. Fuck.
All right, I got to head out though. But
yeah, me too. I'm out of here.
I do want to jump back on again at some point. So
we like it.
You guys having me on.
Anytime, Dan. You're always welcome here at Menace and the Man. Next time, come prepared with some. Just come prepared to
Make up stuff about me.
to give Menace shit and make him feel like a loser. You got to come
I
here
make
with
Stan feel like a loser all the time.
no.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't. But we just like people coming in here making fun of me.
Show Dan your stomach.
Why do I want to show Dan my stomach?
You don't need to
Make
do
you
that.
feel like a loser.
All right, Dan Vallimont, two-time
All right.
All-American from Penn State. You're the man. Thank you for stopping by, and we'll talk to you soon. You stay classy.
Yeah, I love you, dude. Let's hang out.
Have a good one.
I might even bring Stan with me, maybe, if he's a good
right.
boy.
We'll make it happen in Philly.
Hey, you, Stan and Mark Hall?
Yep, let's do it.
I'm into it.
And we're gonna go egg Cael's house.
Talk about that later.
That's wild. Can't say that, Stan.
Why? Is he like Jesus?
He's like a god to wrestling. You just pretty much said you'd like egg a church.
Or Michael? You wouldn't egg Michael Jordan's house?
No.
Why? Because he'd cross over and fucking hit a layup on you? What would he do? Call the cops?
He's just a legend. You just don't do that to legends, dude.
It was a joke. It's called...
They earn the right.
It was a joke. But let's wrap this bitch up. So...
All right.
We had a couple MMA topics. We don't even need to talk about them. We'll save them for next episode.
Episode 97?
Episode 97. Did you ever shoot a shot again? Same thing we talked about with Usman. I think that applies to Poirier as well.
Okay.
And here's why I'll say it. Because he runs a charity. A legit charity. So I think his phone might be blowing up every day.
Okay.
So let's get Poirier on. Him versus Conor McGregor is getting closer and closer to a done deal.
Right.
We've also seen Michael Chandler saying, if it's not a done deal, I'll fight Conor. So crazy shit's happening in MMA. Did we recap this past weekend? Yes, a little bit. There's a fight card this weekend. We'll just go over the main event. Paul Felder. It was supposed to be Islam Makhachev, whatever you pronounce it, versus your boy, Rafael Dos Anjos. I don't know why Islam has pulled out, but he's pulled out. Paul Felder's going to fight him on 4 days' notice. 5 days' notice.
Hey, hats off to him. He's a bad man for that.
He's one of those guys, too. Long overdue for an appearance on Menace and the Man, but we'll work on that. And
Paul.
both of them, actually. I just realized that, yeah. I don't think we ever even tried either one, to be honest.
Not really.
Yeah. I think I hit up Ashley the one time and was like, give me, vaguely, I said Paul Felder, or give me the Sucker Punch MMA guys, and that meant Paul Felder. But we never followed up with it. But let me just see if there's anything else on this card that you care about. So wait, though, Paul Felder...
As long as RDA hits the takedowns, I got RDA.
I was going to say, Paul Felder versus RDA. By RDA by decision?
If he tries, has he ever submitted anybody in the UFC? How many submissions do they have in the UFC?
Recently, remember Neil Magny? He finished Neil Magny with a head and arm choke, I remember. This is kind of one of those cards. Our girl Ashley Yoder is fighting, so we hope Ashley... Okay, we got two. Ashley Yoder is fighting. Miranda Granger.
Okay, I got Yoder, the monkey.
Might as well be Miranda fucked up because Ashley Yoder's going to beat that ass. And then Randa Markos is fighting as well.
Oh, that's a quick turnaround.
Randa Markos, I think, took this fight on a few days' notice, too.
Holy shit. She just fought 2 weeks ago now? 3 weeks ago?
Randa Markos is always DTF. Down to fight.
I like what you did there, Stan. That was good.
Kanako Murata. That's who she's fighting.
Asian?
Japanese, and she's tough.
Okay.
This is her UFC debut, but she's 2-0.
Hey, what? UFC's been bringing in Asian chicks that are like killers.
Yeah, the girl Zan, whatever her name is, the girl who beat Claudia this weekend is fucking good. She's like 12-1 or 13-1. The way she beat Claudia, we talked about this though too. Claudia always gasses for some reason. Ever since Claudia came to America, she gasses.
Right.
Don't know if that's the testing. Don't know if that's the training camp. Don't know if that's just getting older.
Lack of preparation.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. But she gets tired. She won the first round. Japanese girl won the next two. But we're going Randa Markos. We're going Ashley Yoder. And I only care about the main event, I guess. You don't know anyone else fighting. Eric Andrews is fighting. That's the only other name you might know.
It's like a mulatto dude, right?
Yeah, the football player. But Paul Felder versus Rafael Dos Anjos. You got RDA.
Yeah.
I'm going to gamble.
I mean, he's been in a training camp, but we spoke about it. We spoke about Paul Felder's taking on short notice. The reason why he took the fight is because he's training for a triathlon. He's going to come into the fight fresh. Like, no, like, little stupid injuries. He's going to be in sick shape. And also, like, when you sign up to fight, there's like this pressure that builds as the fight gets closer.
He doesn't have that.
No pressure at all. Like, fuck it. And he's on this like, all right, let's fucking do it. Who gives a shit? You know what I mean?
Like, he's almost, especially that he hasn't sparred, hasn't fought. He's getting in there for that. You know what I mean? Like that real.
What?
Odds?
And like in like when you take a fight on short notice, kind of, there's a little bit like, on paper, I'm supposed to lose. Fuck it. Let me go in there and give it hell. You know, like, when was RDA's last win?
RDA's last win, I think was Robbie Lawler. RDA has been on a bit of a skid lately.
So that's not. I mean, man, I might even fucking throw 50 at Paul just because he's the underdog.
No, RDA's last win was Kevin Lee.
Oh,
yeah.
After Gregor, right?
Yeah, after Gregor. No.
170.
Why, has Gregor not fought in that long?
No,
right before Gregor. Right before Gregor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I was going to say, Gregor's fought since then. But no, RDA, he's won in his last, we'll say his last 5. He's 1-4.
Yeah, but where's that win? The first of the 4? Is he on a 3-fight skid?
He lost to Colby. He lost to Usman. Then he beat Kevin Lee. Then he lost to Leon Edwards. Granted, all those fights were at 170.
Oh, my. And all those guys are fucking assassins.
But Kevin Lee's also a 55er. And then he lost to, his last fight, he lost to Michael Chiesa.
But this fight is at 55.
This fight, he's going back down to 55. Felder's last fight, he lost that war to Dan Hooker. Split decision.
I think this fight might be closer than we think.
I was going to say, I'm obviously always looking for a good underdog and a good bet. I think Paul Felder's live in this fight.
Yeah.
RDA's that same conversation. Like, it applies differently at all different ages, obviously. All different fighters. People peak at different ages. RDA's up there. This could be the fight where all of a sudden RDA is slow.
Is old, that we always talk about.
This might be that fight.
Where he's old.
36. He always.
What's Paul? Paul's no like sprint.
No. Paul's old too.
32.
Paul might be 36 too. Paul's 36 as well.
Oh wow! All right, it got really even really quick.
Yes, and the other thing is RDA coming back down to 55. He always had trouble. There's reports. Remember, he like fell and passed out one time, cutting weight, knocked his head or some shit. He's always had trouble.
Paul's not small the weight class either, and Paul's probably got to cut like 18 pounds in 5 days.
No. Like I said, Paul, while he said he hasn't.
Oh, if he's doing a ton of running, he might be.
He's he was on. Remember the show with Bilal Muhammad? He said he hadn't trained the way he needs to for a fight. He hasn't sparred, but he's training. He's in shape. He's training for a triathlon. So he said...
And running a lot, yeah, you're going to be a little lighter.
He said his weight's lower than it's ever been. Like, as low as could be. He said he could make weight. I think I'd have to go back and check it. He might have said I can make weight tomorrow. Like, he's low.
Damn.
Yeah. So, I'm going to go Paul Felder in that. Granted...
I'm going to go RDA, but I'm going to bet on Paul Felder.
I'm going with the odds and the bet, obviously. RDA should win. I was looking up the odds. They weren't coming up, but Paul Felder's going to be an underdog. Going Paul Felder. Menace, it was great seeing you. I want you to shoot that shot. We need to get Gordon Ryan on. He's become...
very well.
I've always been a fan. He's slowly become one of my favorite people.
All right, I'm into it.
All right, well, hit him with your send-off.
Well, see you later.